All right, so what we're going to talk about today is how to properly use Google to get what you need for, at least for a math class, right? Let's say you really want to do some stats calculations because you're in a statistics class, or maybe you're in a different class, but whatever. And you don't have one of these guys at home, the TI Inspire calculator that you can do these fancy schmancy calculations with, these t-tests, these confidence intervals. You just don't have it. Maybe you have your phone calculator, maybe you have an emulator on your phone, but it's not going to be the TI Inspire emulator because those aren't released yet. And you're just trying to find a way to do things. So one of the things that you have to make sure you do correctly is when you look up things on the internet in general, but also when you're trying to look up, these calculator tools, you want to be a little more specific with what you're looking up. So, for example, I can Google calculate. First of all, Google has a calculator built into it. If you start off typing the equal sign and just do, general things, or just type in random equations, it'll calculate it for you, and it's. However, this one's not really any more or any fancier than what you would have on your phone, so that's not really that helpful. So maybe you want like a fancier calculator. If I just type calculator into Google, I'll come to this page. If I type online calculator, it'll take me to this page. I will see that I have some other options, but maybe we have Desmos, onlinecalculator.com. I genuinely don't even know what this is. This looks like so this is useless. So not really helpful for what we're going for. What we would need, let's say I want to calculate a confidence interval, something that you would do in a statistics class. Well, include that in your search. Maybe confidence interval calculator, online calculator. Confidence interval calculator. Math is fun. That may be useful. Let's try this out. I'm doing this all organically, so bear with me. Hopefully this pans out. Yeah, see, this is perfect. So I have a confidence interval. Maybe I took, 200 samples. My sample mean was 12, and my standard deviation was, something annoying like 6.328. And I want a 99% confidence level. As you can see, as I'm updating this bar, it's literally updating the confidence interval, and even giving me a quote for what my solution would mean. On top of that, it gives me margin of error, and if I'm trying to write an answer, or maybe answer something that's in a multiple choice format, it gives me 2 examples of what that answer may even look like. So even if I don't really know what it is I'm trying to do, this can help me out. And remember, all I just Google searched confidence interval online calculator. It's the keywords that got me what I needed. You see this one, I could even enter a whole bunch of raw data. Let's see. Oops. I'm just making this as I go. Oh, it wants me to get all the way to 30. All right, let's get to 30. Right, 30. Sure, never 30. Oh, commas. Oh, boring. But you can see I'm inputting the raw data. Even if I wasn't, given the mean or standard deviation, this could give it to me as I go along. And it's live updating as I go. So this is a brilliant resource. Just to drive the point home, maybe I don't want confidence interval, maybe I want t-test, which is another type of statistics test. T-test online calculator. There we go. There you go. I'm just going to click on the first one and see what happens. Okay, this is literally a spreadsheet. This may not be as fun. Also, don't click on these ads. Oh, duh. Oh. This one's not as good as the last one, but that's fine. Right. There you go. It gives you all the answers you could possibly want. Again, this is all something that I'm doing on a whim, and it's no. Again, don't click the ads. Yeah, it's not as useful and maybe not as something as you're used to as maybe this fancy calculator. But unless you got $150 to drop on one of these things, you've got a free resource at your disposal. So when you're looking, if you ever feel like, oh, I can't do this because I don't have the calculator tools that I need because they're only available at school, that's honestly just a bunch of nonsense. Look a couple times, refine your search. Don't just search general words. Search for the keywords. Be a little bit more specific, and that'll get you what you need.